Star, are you ready?
I'm a lady.
So let's song. We're back with the boys.
Back in, boys. It's boy time.
It's boy time.
Sarah, you're bringing the boys back.
The boys are back, and they're wilder than ever.
I am so excited.
Let me just say, I'm glad that at this point I have watched 22/7, AKB 0048. You have watched 22/7. Utapri Season 2, at least in our Idol Days universe, is gonna be a wild ride, so buckle in.
So excited. You texted me, I think it was last night or the night before, while you were watching. You were just like, Star, I'm only halfway through the season, but I know, I could just tell already, the recording for this is gonna be buck wild. And I was like, yeah!
I just you wait, Idol Days fans. And for those of you who are Utapri fans, we're gonna...
What are you, Sarah, what?
No, if you're Utapri fans, you might be a little bit confused about the references we're making.
Oh, okay, I was concerned.
If you haven't listened to our other Idol Days episodes, I'm sorry.
On Uta no Prinsu-sama.
Uta no Prince-sama, but we will also be talking about the main overall plot.
Yes.
So, recap, let me go over the boys of Starish that we met last season.
Please do, because I forgot half of their names, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. So
I remember the red one is Red Boy, and the green one's Cecil, and he's my favorite, but I know nothing about him aside from he's a cult leader?
Yeah, so we'll get in. So, Red Boy is Otoya. He is Genki, happy personality, would be main character if this wasn't based on a dating simulator, probably.
Yee.
And then after that, we'll go to his roommate, I guess, who is Tokia.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
And they were roommates. Tokia is one of our 3 Chihayas, if you listen to the last episode.
Already with the reference.
If you listen to our season 1 episode, he is purple, is his color scheme, but his hair is kind of like a blue, black, gray color that's a little swoopy in front of his head. He's kind of broody. Last season you found out that he used to be the idol Hayato, but abandoned that to be in Utapri. Or in Starish. Ugh.
We're getting our boys mixed up.
Too many boys. All right, the next duo, or the next 2 I'll introduce are the other roommates. So all of these boys are in season 1. They were all in school, and they were all roommates in the dorm. So I just kind of go 2 by 2 by 2. Makes it easier to remember.
And then sucker's gonna get left out because they're 7. But they're 7 now.
Oh,
there were
yeah.
6 in the first season.
I will explain soon.
Yes. I wish to know. I want to know about these cute boys.
So next boy, Masato, he is the other Chihaya. So we have those 2 Chihayas. He has blue hair, but it's like he has straighter cut bangs, so they're less swoopy. He has like a little mole near his mouth. He is serious. He's the blue one, and he acts like the blue one.
Him Chihaya.
His roommate is Ren, who has like long, like golden blonde hair. He is sexy saxophone man. Very flirty, very saxophone. And then the last duo I'll introduce right now is Natsuki. He's the yellow one. He also has blonde hair, but his is a little lighter. He wears glasses, and when he wears glasses, he's cute golden retriever puppy character. But as we found out last season, when he takes his glasses off, he becomes Satsuki, his evil alter ego. Most of the show, he is wearing his glasses because Shio, his roommate, Shio and main character girl are the only ones who know about his secret alter ego because Shio is his childhood friend. Shio is the pink one. He wears a fedora most of the time.
What's up, my lady?
The small, relatively cheerful one. Last season, he really wanted to be a movie star with one of his teachers, but he was afraid of heights, and he got over that fear, and that was his last season character development.
Yay.
And then the last boy we met last season, not at the beginning of the season, he is not a member of Starish, is Cecil, Star's leafy green boy.
Leafy greens! Get your vitamins.
Last season, he has a darker brown skin, he has brown hair. Last season, what happened is Haruka, main character girl, she had this cat who was her friend, and then she followed the cat into a forest, which may or may not have been a dream sequence. And they found the wall from 22/7, and then she released this boy out of the cat, and he sang a song at her and inspired her to form Starish. Presumably in a dream.
I should have gone back and re-listened to our first Utapri episode, because I've, like, my brain is just recalling all of this stuff. I'm like, Utapri's weird.
Utapri's weird. Well, the funny thing about Utapri Season 1 is a lot of it, most of Utapri Season 1 was, like, normal in the realm of anime, right? Like, there were some gags here and there, but relatively normal in the realm of anime. And then there was the Cecil episode, and then Haruka's like, that was just a dream, and let's ignore it, and then the rest of the season happens. Season 2, Cecil becomes a main character, which brings along a whole lot of other stuff, so that's why his backstory is important.
So excited. Because, okay, so those who listened to the first episode of Utapri that we recorded know this. I am indifferent on Utapri as a whole on franchise. I tried to watch season 1 many years ago. Didn't get into it. I have nothing against people who like it. It's just not my bag. But we were hoping, like, something you and I both said last episode is maybe it will be, like, more interesting once they're out of the school setting. Are they still in the school setting in this one?
Well, let me get into it. So, just really quick, last character, the main character. Her name is Haruka Nanami, but I'll just call her Haruka for this episode. She has shoulder-length orange bob cut hair and yellow soulless eyes. We all know this about her because in the games she was the stand-in for you, the player, and season 1 was kind of episodic in that each episode was a different boy falling in love with her.
Yep.
And she was at the school setting, and they're all the most popular boys in school, right? Well, end of last season, they had a graduation concert where they graduated and became real idols, right?
Yep.
But
it's funny that they graduated and now they are idols as opposed to graduating and then you're not idols anymore,
right?
Which is usually what happens.
But just like the Love Live movie episodes we did, they're still pretty much in school.
Oh, good.
So basically, they have graduated. Episode 1. We'll go ahead and get into it. Episode 1.
Get into it.
Haruka has officially graduated school, and so have all the Starish boys, and they have made their debut. And their next step is they are going to a program called the Master Course, which is
Sarah, the
Idol Master Course. Maybe.
Crossover.
And the Master Course is basically school.
Oh, good! More school!
The difference is that they're not in classes and there aren't other school children, but they do have individual training and they are on a campus with dorms, the same roommates as before, and their teachers are also there. So I consider this, they are still in school.
Okay.
Right? Like, there's, and the principal, the crazy principal who's Mari from Love Live's dad is still there. They're in school still.
Everyone is here.
Everyone is here. So, episode 1 begins with Haruka going to the campus for the master course. And she's like, wow, I'm so glad I'm a pro now. I'm not in school anymore, like, as she walks into the school setting.
This isn't your baby idol shit anymore. This is real idol shit back in school.
Yep. The opening, like, first few minutes are basically Haruka walking through the dormitory and individually walking into each individual boy who, you know, gives her, like, meet cutes, like, surprise hug, or, like, I bumped into you in the hallway. And you're like, yep, still
like,
dating
wow,
Sim.
What a coincidence, running into you here, and you, all in a row. Wow.
Um,
Convenient.
but all the boys at this time, they are all at least in the same idol group. So they're all relatively cool with each other. Tokia is no longer the jerk he was for half of the last season, so that's nice.
Has he mellowed out a bit now?
Oh, he's like way more mellow.
Excellent.
Yes, he's almost a different character in some ways, but hey. So basically, they're all in this dorm together, right? The principal ends up showing up, the one from Sao Tome Academy named Sao Tome, who is a high school principal. Well, apparently, he's also in charge of this master course. They're still in school, basically.
Still in school.
And he kind of descends from the ceiling and he's like, hey, everyone, welcome to the master course. Don't forget, love is forbidden because you're idols now. Which is like, well, that's just for the Otome game, really.
Yeah.
And since you're not in school, we will not have formal classes, but you will have mentors. And that's where we meet some new boys.
Oh boy!
Boys. So you meet, at this point they're called, I couldn't figure this out. They're called the Pioneering Princes at this point. But later they referred to themselves as Quartet Knight, but that's only when like another bonus boy comes in who we'll meet soon, don't worry. Okay. But I think as the trio, they're technically Pioneering Princes, but nothing comes up when I Google them, so big shrug.
Yeah, Quartet Knight is definitely one that I've heard because people in the Discord insist that I'm going to love one of these characters.
And I know which one that is, Star.
Whoa!
Whoa! So,
can't wait for everyone to be proven right.
Yeah. So, the Quartet Knight boys are, there is Ron Maru. He looks like a DeviantArt OC. He has like white spiky hair. He has, one of his eyes is bright magenta and the other one is silver.
Okay.
And he's super angry, like kind of like upsetty all the time.
Upsetty spaghetti.
Upsetty spaghetti. And he is technically Ren and Masato's mentor. Really, the mentors, they're supposed to be assigned to like a duo, but they kind of all like work with all of them, so.
Okay.
I won't explain too much on that. The next one is he has
he's the blue one, right?
Yes, he has like blue-green hair that's kind of chin length, but it's like up in a little ponytail. He's very analytical and blunt. On the wiki, it says that he's actually an android. I don't know if that's true to the anime or if it's
Utapri.
But yeah, you know, anime.
Utapri.
And then the last of this trio is Reiki, and he is the one that you would like, you would like, Star. He is the green one. He has longish brown hair, and he's just like really nice. He's like the stereotypical green one, right? Like he's like the taking charge of everyone, keeping everyone from being sad, like keeps Ron Maru from going full DeviantArt OC, you know. He's a good boy.
Emotional center, leafy green.
He is your emotional center, leafy green.
Oh no, my type.
Oh no, your type.
Oh no. I hate that everyone was right.
Yeah.
Unpredictable.
And immediately after they're introduced, they do a little dance and a song.
Excellent.
And they're great. And all the Utapri boys are like, oh, these guys are so good. I hope we can reach their level one day.
Sugoi senpai.
So you meet the senpais.
Yay!
Then also at that point, the teachers show up from last season, so it's like, okay, high school, we're still in school. It's fine.
We're back. The Utapri story.
Yup. So another thing that happens in this episode is Haruka, like, she's like, well, before we came here, I was really busy and I wrote songs for each of you. And she gives all of the Starish boys like individual pieces of sheet music. And they don't have lyrics yet, so all the boys are like, okay, we're going to write the lyrics for each of our own individual songs.
Okay.
So remember that, because basically the next few episodes are each of the boys having their own scenario and then coming up with lyrics for their song.
Got it. Individual character episodes.
Yeah! In my iDOL anime. It's more likely.
More likely than you think.
So, after all the introductions, it is nighttime. Tomo, Haruka's friend, red hair, really nice girl.
Is she there too?
She's there sometimes. She's there basically to offer emotional support for everyone, but then she just like leaves for most of the season. I think she's there because fans like her. It's kind of the vibe I got. But she's helping Haruka unpack, and they're kind of just talking about being real idols now and how different it's gonna be. And then Haruka keeps flashing back to her time with Cecil, being like, wow, that random cat that turned into a boy that might have been a dream. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I wish I could see him again.
And let me guess.
That night, she hears a cat meow.
I knew it!
And she follows the cat outside. And there on the grounds is Cecil.
You know, like Nya.
Like Nya. Episode 2.
Da, 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 da.
So immediately where we left off, we have Haruka talking to Cecil face to face. And she says to this dream boy, thank you for everything you did last season. You really helped me learn who I am, and you're like an important part of me. And then Cecil's like, no, you inspired me. And he grabs Haruka and they lean in for a kiss. And then Haruka wakes up.
Ah,
it's like,
cock blocked.
Right?
Cecil blocked.
Cecil blocked. And then Haruka's like, was that a dream? So they all get called down, like Haruka and the boys, and the principal is there, and he tells Haruka, like, hey, you guys are idols now. Last time for their debut, you wrote Maji Love 1000%, and it was fucking amazing. But your next job is to write a song that surpasses it.
Oh.
And then
you will become the idols that surpass zero.
And then Haruka's like, well, what if I can't do that because I didn't write that song? It came to me from a prince in my dreams.
Jeez. Well, then you just eat a bunch of weird shit, go take a nap, and see what comes to you.
Take an Ambien. So
have some of those weird dreams.
Weird dreams. But then as she's wandering the campus, she and the Starsh boys hear some mysterious singing.
Catboy?
And it's daytime this time. And so they all follow the singing. And there in a tree on the campus, which, by the way, is visually the same campus as the school campus from last season, hence solidifying that they're still in school.
Come on, really?
Yes, the art's the same.
Jesus!
And there in the tree is Cecil.
You know, like Nya.
Like Nya. And like as he's singing his song, like all of these like visual montages of all the times he showed up last season, like as or as not a cat. And so you're like, okay, so the cat thing is canon, right? Like, he was really a cat.
I'm sorry. I just had like a vision of him like looking down from the tree, and there's like the anime bokeh sparkles everywhere, and he's like, "Hello, Nya," and like winks.
And then Cecil jumps down from the tree,
breaks his ankles. Anime's over.
Embraces Haruka, and Haruka's like, "Is this a dream? I didn't think you were real." And then Cecil's like, "No, it is not a dream, my princess." And he kisses her hand. And then it like goes in for like a kiss in real life. And then all the other boys are like, "No, do not kiss my love interest. This is an otome game."
Romance on the school grounds is forbidden.
Forbidden. And then the principal shows up again. And he's like, "Oh, hey, Cecil, you're here."
Oh?
And it turns out Cecil was scouted to join the master course by the principal.
He didn't even have to go to school. He just went straight to the better school.
He did go straight to school, too. He apparently Cecil is a real life prince, and
where?
of a country, like it was a made up country.
North Maria, perhaps?
No, it wasn't.
No,
but
South
it was
Maria.
South Maria. And that he was here to learn about Japan and also about what idols are.
Interesting. Go on.
Then Cecil meets all the Starish boys, because all the boys are like, wait, how do you know him, Haruka? And then Haruka's like, oh, I met him in my dreams. And he's the one who got Starish to exist because I talked to him in my dreamscape. And all
then
the
Cecil just like, yeah.
like yeah. And all the boys are like, yep, this checks out, it's normal.
That tracks. Okay.
And then Cecil says, I know I was scouted, but what really brought me here is your music, Haruka, because the muses, which my country worships, guided me to come here. And you're like, the muses, muse, interesting.
Illuminati.
Confirmed.
Just funny because this show came out well before Love Life.
Yes.
Well, maybe not this season.
I don't know
but
yeah.
Utapri definitely did.
And then, so Cecil's there, all the boys are there. And don't forget, all the boys, the double units, each have their own senpai.
Mm-hmm.
But Cecil doesn't have a senpai. Yet. And then we meet the last new boy.
It's the final senpai.
And his name is Camus.
Okay.
He's like, his color is blue. He actually introduces himself using ice magic.
What?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Season 2 goes wild. He looks like Victor from Yuri on Ice.
But he looks a lot angrier.
So he has like the ashy
like
white blonde hair and blue eyes, and
he probably has eyebrows, but in this picture it's so small I cannot see them.
Yes.
So in my head he just has no eyebrows.
No eyebrows. And he comes in and he says to Cecil, hey, I am your designated senpai, and you're going to train under me to become an idol.
And Cecil's just like, nya.
Cecil's like, nya, and also like, I don't need to train. I'm already great at singing. I just want to sing songs with Haruka. Goodbye. No, I'm just going to do my own cat thing, right?
Oh, he's a spicy nya.
He's a spicy nya. But then there's a bunch of hijinks where like Cecil's trying to prove that he's as good as the Starish boys, but ends up failing mostly because he's afraid of water, I guess. And in the end, Cecil concedes and is like, okay, I'll learn under you, Camus, but I can't promise that I am going to like follow your lead all the time because I am a cat.
Cats gotta be independent little sons of bitches.
Yeah. And then that night he ends up at Haruka's balcony, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry about trying to kiss you. I didn't know that idols couldn't have romance, but all I really want, my whole goal with everything, is just to be able to sing your music, Haruka. I don't want anything else. So he only is into this.
So he apologizes for almost kissing her because romance is not allowed, and not because maybe she didn't want to be kissed by a pseudo stranger.
Yeah.
Greenie, you're on thin ice.
Yep. And then we get the ending. And actually the ending is how season 1 opened. I don't think I mentioned it. But the ending is them singing the song Maji Love 2000%. This is a performance. It has all the Starish boys in it, so even Leafy Green's boy, Cecil, sings it. There's a lot of hip and butt gyrations. I think Toki even like slaps his upper thigh, so...
Yeah, boy!
Yeah, boy, Utapri. There you go.
Oh, so we didn't really talk. Do we not get the opening, like the actual opening, until next time?
No,
next
we
episode?
the actual opening, the actual like episode opening, episode 1 starts with the Maji Love 2000%, and then ends with what actually is the opening.
Okay, because I watched that like moments before you called me, and it was. Why are they floating around naked for half of it?
They float around
Sarah?
naked in space in the opening, yes.
Yeah, it was like they all get magical girl transformations, but Haruka's just naked for a lot of it.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, Utapri, you good?
So, Star, this is when I'm going to start posing my theory.
Okay.
Remember
What is it?
at the end of the Love Life movie where everyone gets raptured because they become Center Nova?
Oh no.
You remember this, right?
Of course I do, because that also included us.
And you know how in AKB0048, the girls embody or have the souls of other idols in them?
Uh-huh.
What if... I'm just making sure don't want anyone to be listening. What if...
Sarah, we're recording a podcast.
What if the idols are reincarnations of other idols?
Elaborate.
Like Cecil says that the muses guided him here. What if Muse, when they got raptured, inhabited the body of the Utapri boys?
Sarah, you're gonna make all the Love Life fans so upset by implying that they're all boys now. It's like, no, my pure best girl can't be a Utapri boy.
I'm just
No,
saying, sir.
Love Live canceled. It's all
I'm just
Utapri
saying
now.
that maybe the OP was symbolizing them coming into different bodies because they are these disembodied souls, like in AKB0048.
Sarah.
Sips
Sarah.
drink.
Okay, there's only 7 Utapri boys.
Yeah?
Who died?
Well, here's
Who
the...
for real got raptured and didn't come back?
Well, in AKB0048, there are like hundreds of AKB members, but there's only like 16 named girls, right?
Yeah.
There's some souls that just don't find bodies for a little bit.
Okay, well, which 2 are they?
That's what we gotta find out.
Oh, okay. I would like to pose Nozomi as Orange Boy.
Yes,
because...
I absolutely agree. I was thinking that Rin is Cecil because they are both Nia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rin finally got her wish. She's a cat boy now. Okay, just going based on image colors from here on out, does that mean that Nico is Sho, or is he too much of a good boy?
I mean, he does...
Is anyone Nico, or is Nico one of the ones who got permanently raptured? Please say yes.
Nico's soul went into the Shihos.
Oh, she got raptured by the Shiho text chat.
Yeah.
She now lives forever in cyberspace.
Nico and Hatsune Miku are buddies.
No. Okay, so you know how when the pandemic started, there was kind of maybe you don't know this, but there was kind of an influx of like found footage Skype movies.
Oh no.
Nico became unfriended.
Oh no.
And now she's one of the ghosts haunting everyone's Zoom calls.
Oh no.
If you do a seance over Zoom and say Nico, Nico, Ni 3 times into your monitor, she'll appear.
Yes.
Along with whoever the other one was. I don't know.
Absolutely. So,
Masato is definitely Umi Chihaya.
Yeah, definitely. And then maybe Maki might be Tokia since they also both have like the music history.
I can see it. I can see it. And they're like a little bitchy.
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Just a little bit, but not a lot
Just
of
a
it.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then...
Who the fuck is Natsuki?
Well, here's the thing, is Natsuki and Satsuki. So he could have 2 souls in him if we really wanted to.
Ooh, that's spicy.
It's really spicy.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, Natsuki is actually just Yami Yugi. He came in from a different series.
It's time to duel! Dueling Idol.
But
Sarah, have I ever told you about how some of the first comics I ever wrote were kind of based on Yu-Gi-Oh! And the fact that I was just very enamored with the concept of like weird archaic soul also inhabiting the body of like a weird teenager with weird hair?
I wonder how that weird soul inhabiting the body of another teenager ended up going for you, Star.
Yeah, good question. Real good question.
Everyone go read Cast Off.
Yeah. I never thought about that till just now. I wrote that shit in 4th grade.
Cast-on-comic.com.
Oh God. Apology. I feel like people who like read my comic and have never listened to my podcast are missing out on some lore.
Deep, dark lore related to Idol
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Rapture and Yu-Gi-Oh!
Idol Rapture.
Well, let's continue on with the series, and maybe we can think a little bit more.
I'm scared to pursue this line of thought further, but okay.
This line of thought, I started thinking around here, and then this might have been what shaped my experience of Utapri season 2.
Oh, I'm so excited. Sarah, we're only 2 episodes in.
If you think about it in this mindset, it shapes it. Utapri fans, if you have not watched AKB0048, go buy it on eBay for $20. It'll reveal so many things.
Oh, sweet Jesus Christ.
Episode 3.
Yay!
So now we're actually going to start going into the individual boys episodes. Okay?
Okay.
So it's a little more formulaic
I
here.
still not emotionally processed that last bit, but okay. I guess it's time to move on.
It's okay. We'll have a little bit of normal before we get crazy again, I promise.
Oh God, okay. Here we go. Where's my fucking seatbelt? Strap in, everybody.
Strap in.
Yoy.
So episode 3 is first individual character episode. It's Shio's episode. And he ends up getting a job working on an action flick, this time officially with the former teacher that he really wanted to work with last season. But this time he's the main character, so good job, Shio.
Ooh, special boy.
What basically happens is that there's a part of the scene where he has to like jump over like this giant gap and like rescue a character on the other side. But no matter how much he tries, he can't make the jump, right? And he tries a lot. Like basically they show him being filmed all day and the director's like, well, I could put in a stuntman, but this is a really important shot, so I'd like to have the main character in it. Sure. So he works really hard. He comes back. He's working even harder. All the other boys notice, and they're like, I wonder why Shio can't make that jump. And then one of them is like, well, I think it's because he's putting so much pressure on himself. He's too stiff. So the next day, Cecil and Natsuki are there, and they're like, we're going to help you calm down. And they're like as extras, basically. And then the important thing about all of these individual boys episodes is you'll notice Cecil's there. And so while he's there, he's watching.
In the background because he didn't.
He's in the background. Because he's basically an extra. But there are cut-ins where he's like watching Shio try really hard, and he's like, wow, he's like really going for it. I didn't realize that idols did things besides dancing and singing, but they do these crazy stunts also. Forbidden techniques.
Forbidden technique.
So that's Cecil learning a thing. Later that night, Shio is still practicing. And while he's packing up from practice, he's like, I don't have my change of clothes with me. Must have lost them and left them back home. Well, who comes over with his bag of clothes? It's Haruka.
Whoa.
And where is she? She's on the top of this bridge ledge thing, because that's the place she would be to bring him clothes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Basically, she falls off the ledge and is hanging on by her arm. Shio jumps over and makes the jump because he's motivated to save Haruka. Yeah, so that's good that no one died there.
Yeah, that feels like an OSHA violation.
It really does. But they have a little talk, and Haruka's like, hey, I know you're trying really hard to force yourself to make this jump, But even if you don't have it in you, I know that our teacher's proud of you, and I'm proud of you, and you've shown that you can get over your fears, so it's no big deal.
Does he just say, but I literally just made the jump, did you not see me?
Yeah, and he's like, no, I know I can do it again because you inspired me. And then the next day, it's filming time, and Shio goes to make the jump, and he does it, and then his song starts playing.
Yay!
And it's like all about believing in yourself and starting your own journey, and very motivational, and it fits the theme. 超絶難関すぎる壁だってやるかね時がある男には3秒後の俺は多分笑ってる守ると誓ったお前のことを Fly high, fly high 勇気出して Fly away, fly away まっすぐ前見て
Believe in her and
believe in himself.
Yay.
And he says at the end, he talks to Haruka, and he's like, well, saving you was a big part of it, but really, remembering you and the song you gave me is really the thing that gave me the strength. And I thank you for your music, Haruka. You're a genius, essentially. And also, I'm in love with you because it's based off an Otome game.
Yay! Boy number 1 conquered.
And he does something which I think anybody, when you are flirting with a girl and you feel like you have won her heart, what do you do?
Go in for the smooch?
You give her your fedora.
Milady!
Milady!
I would like you to have this item of affection. This token of my feelings for you, milady.
So I went through this episode kind of fast. I probably will go through these episodic ones really fast so we can get into the juicy theories later on.
Please.
The main part of this episode, which I didn't say yet, that is really important for the overarching plot, is at some point the principal comes in and he's like, hey, Starish, big news. You all just got... big news. You all need to win this award that's happening soon. And they're going to be announcing the nominees, like, in the next few months. And you have a running chance because it's only given to brand new idol groups who are, like, newly becoming popular but have good fan bases. And it's called the Utapri Award.
Title drop.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, if they don't win the Utapri Award, it would
the
be...
anime's over.
The anime's over, so... Basically, all the boys have a new goal, which is to get the board of directors who figures out the bands who are nominated, or the idol groups who are nominated for the Utapri Award, to get them to be nominated and to win. And apparently, the directors on this Utapri commission, they look at all of their work, not just their concerts, so they look at their, like, TV roles and stage roles and CDs and everything all combined. So they're going to be looking at each of these individual boys very closely. So they all have to do really good at their work.
You can't be posting shit on your weird social media. You gotta be spotless. You gotta be a good idol boy.
Yeah.
You can't be posting discourse if you want to win the Utapri Award.
Episode 4 is Masato's episode. So he gets invited to audition for the stage musical.
Okay.
And it's a big deal because it's like a main character role, and it was like an invite audition.
Ooh, spicy.
Mm-hmm. And so there's like a bunch of gags about like the boys reading out the scene, and they're all like embodying different parts in like this like quasi like demonstration sort of sequence. But everything scratches to a halt when Masato is supposed to embrace his love interest, and he just can't do it. He can't hug his love interest, in this case played by Tokia. Again, Tokia's like really mellowed out.
Tokyo is also there.
Tokia is, well, all the boys are there. They're all acting out different characters, but Tokia is the one who's like reading the love interest part.
He's like, I can't hug you. I'm not gay.
Well, it's more of, I can't hug you because I don't know how to show affection and love.
Two bros acting in a stage play 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
And all the other boys are like, hey, we can keep helping you with this part. We can help you overcome your fear. And Masato's like, nah, I got this. I'll be fine. He goes and trains on his own, like, and is very, like...
Trains in hugging people?
Well, he trains in a traditional, more samurai way, which is, like, he goes under a waterfall and meditates and tries to focus his mind.
And hugs the waterfall.
And hugs the waterfall.
Embrace the waterfall.
At some point, he ends up at a gravesite, and I couldn't really understand based on the subtitles I was reading, but it was either his grandpa or it might have been the butler that was his mentor in the flashbacks last season, because that would make more sense to me.
Okay.
And he, at the grave, he starts flashing back to the past.
God damn it, he is Chihaya, isn't he?
He is Chihaya. And he remembers this guy, this old man, the butler, telling him that performing arts are not something that you do alone, but they're something that you make together with the people around you.
Does Haruka show up?
And then he's like, oh, I have to work with the people around me.
Wow, who'd have thought about that? Wow.
So he goes back, and the boys are there, and he practices with the boys. Cecil is watching, and he's like, wow, there's all of this stuff going on. I'm so impressed about all these boys working collaboratively. But same thing happens. Masato still struggles when it comes to the part where he has to do the embrace. So Cecil interjects. He's like, hey, I know you have Tokia doing the love interest. Why is that? And all the boys are like, oh, it's because Tokia is the other actor who's really good. But Cecil's like, well, why don't you get Haruka to do it?
I knew it.
What? And Masato's like, no, not right now. But later, Cecil and Masato have a one-to-one talk where Cecil's like, hey, why did you become an idol? And then Masato, like, expositions everything that happened last season. And then Cecil's like, wow, that person that inspired you last season must have really inspired you. You should imagine that person as the love interest when you're acting, even if it isn't them. And then Masato's like, flashes back to something his grandpa said, which was basically that. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yes, Cecil, you are right.
You are correct, cat boy.
You are correct, cat boy. And then it's time for his audition, and Masato does it. His whole audition it's kind of fun the way that they staged it, where it actually is like the anime is like him in this sword play. So like he's not on a stage, he's just like in a samurai flick, basically. Even though it's supposed to be a staged play, it's more like a PV. So he's like, the singing is happening, and sometimes he's singing along, and sometimes he's fighting other guys. And then, in the end, he sees the love interest, and he imagines it as Haruka, and he embraces her. And then it cuts to him being on stage embracing a random actress, and then all the people watching his audition give him a standing ovation. He did it.
Yay!
So, and then at the end, he's like, hey, Haruka, I want you to watch me perform. And then Cecil had overheard this because he's always in a tree because he's a cat boy.
Yeah.
And he goes up to Masato and he's like, hey, is Haruka the one you're in love with? Why don't you just confess to her like I did? But then Cecil's like, no, all I need is the connection we have through music.
You mean Masato?
Like, all right. Masato is like, the connection we have through music. And you're like, okay. Yay.
Yay.
Episode 5 is Otoya's episode.
Ew.
So, Red Hair Boy. Episode starts with him singing and playing his guitar, and he's upbeat and happy, and all the other boys are peering in, and they're like, wow, Otoya's, like, doing great so far. And then they think, and they're like, and he's been, like, disappearing every once in a while. I wonder if he's going to, like, have private lessons or something. I'm not gonna think too hard on where he goes to. So Otoya, after he's been getting really good, he gets an offer to appear on a variety show.
Ooh.
And the principal sends Cecil with him because it's like, Cecil, you need experience too.
Because Cecil is in every episode.
Cecil is in every episode, at least at the beginning. Basically, they get on the variety show. They both have a lot of fun together, and they do really good. And Cecil's like, wow, I didn't realize that doing this idol stuff would be so much fun. And there's a lot of like cut-ins about how he made the audience laugh. And Cecil's like, maybe this idol thing is more than I thought.
Is he just gonna have one of those revelations in every single episode?
Yes,
Oh,
he has a
boy.
revelation on what it means to be an idol
Oh, boy,
every episode.
This is how we catch up with Cecil, I guess.
They were power leveling Cecil.
Yep.
He's just
He's
leeching
an
onto
EX
the other boys' raids.
He's got the EXP share, which means he needs to be in the party.
Yep. So after this variety show, Haruka is walking home from shopping or something, and she gets lost, which she always does. But then she stumbles on Otoya, and he is surrounded by a bunch of kids outside like this big building.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, Otoya's here. I thought when he disappeared randomly he was like practicing or something. What's he doing here? Turns out this place, Otoya's backstory, turns out he was an orphan.
Of course he
This
was.
place is- Of course he was. His mom died when he was young. His father, he never knew his father. This is where he grew up. But he's like, don't worry. It's not a tragic story. I had a really happy childhood. This place is like home to me. It's not a sad thing at all. And when I go and disappear, it's actually me coming here and helping out with the kids because it feels like home.
Aw, that's cute.
It's actually really cute. And I like how they were like immediately like, no, this is not sad. It's just like his found family.
Swerve that tragic backstory right out of here.
Yeah. And I guess the reason why he's been gone recently is all of the kids are getting ready to have like an outdoor like bazaar flea market thing.
Mm-hmm.
Slash haunted house combination because they're children and they want to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So Haruka like meets all the kids and they're like, "Are you dating each other?" And then Otome game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, she ends up staying and being happy and helping. Later, she goes back and she tells like the other Stars boys about Otoya, which is like, I hope you have permission to do that. I guess.
Yeah. You can't just go spilling a boy's backstory to randos.
Backstory. But all the other Stars boys are like, yeah, it's kind of sad that Otoya felt like he had to keep it from us. It doesn't really change how we feel about him, or it doesn't make us feel like we have to baby him or anything. He's still Otoya. So they're like, I wonder if we can help him out in any way. And then it is time for the flea market / haunted house. There are some gags with Otoya taking Haruka through the haunted house and hugs and, that sort of thing. But then after the haunted house, the kids are all out there with like all their goods to sell. And no one's coming by. And then Haruka looks it up and she's like, oh no, there's a giant flea market in the neighborhood today. That's why no one's coming here.
Oh no, bad timing!
Bad timing, but also kids, come on, do your research.
Yeah, God.
But then Otoya looks at all the kids and he's like, hey, you know what I do when I'm sad is I sing. And then he sings the song that Haruka wrote for him with his own lyrics. And it's very cute. It's like really happy, very Otoya personality-wise. And then his singing attracts the crowd. And then the crowd's like, oh, you're singing so good. Oh, hey, children. Oh, hey, you have stuff for sale. And so, like, his crowd helps the kids raise their money for their orphanage.
Yay.
And then all of the other Stars boys show up. And they are in, like, these mascot suits. And they're like, and we'll help too. And they're like, Otoya, don't worry about keeping things from us. We want to help you. And everyone's happy and friends.
Cute. But also, how did you find out about my backstory? Who told you?
Who told you? Episode 6 is Ren's story.
Okay.
He's invited to join a fashion show called the Japan Boys Collection.
Ooh, boys.
Oh, boys. But the drama here is the sponsor of the Japan Boys Collection is his family.
Ooh,
Specifically, the
spicy.
family company run by his brother, who he has not talked to since his brother kind of forced him to go to Sao Tome Academy.
Ooh.
But when Haruka finds out, she talks to Ren and she's like, are you sure you want to do this with your backstory and all? And then Ren's like, yeah, I was conflicted, but last season you taught me that I really want to be an idol for myself, not just because my family's forced me into it. So I'll do whatever it takes. And then you get some perspective from Ren's brother, who you kind of see that he was a lot older than Ren, and he got like ushered into the family business early. And whenever he was like at work and sat outside, sad, he would look outside and see Ren singing, and it would make him happy. So it's like, oh, Ren had this feeling of needing to sing even back then. And then also at some point, Ren and Cecil are talking while Ren is preparing for the show, because Cecil has to learn something every episode. And Cecil's like, hey, Ren, why are you an idol? And Ren's like, I'm an idol because my family forced me to be. And Cecil's like, what the fuck? That doesn't sound right. And Ren's like, well, that was the reason why I started being an idol, but since then I found my own motivation. Tells the story from last season.
Last time on Utapri.
Yeah.
Utapri.
Yeah, and in some ways, like, almost every single individual boys episode this season is basically, like, just them showing that they did better since last season. So I'm glad that the change stuck.
Yeah. But also
and then it's
interesting that half the season is spent almost on recap.
Yeah, more or less. And then it is time for the fashion show. And Ren goes on, and he's going down the catwalk, and he gets to the end, and the crowd's going wild because he's doing so good. He's so good at walking in these clothes.
And I do my little turn on the catwalk. On the
and
catwalk.
Then, one of our favorite idol tropes.
Uh-oh.
The power goes out.
Oh, no! How will they be able to look at his luscious man bod now?
But then Ren remembers what happened last season, where Haruka is like, your music always lights up my heart. And he's like, if I sing, I can create light.
Oh, I was hoping he would whip out a saxophone.
So he starts to be like, hey, everyone, I know it's scary, but listen to me. And then Haruka, like, psychically is like, oh, I know what he's about to do. And she happens to have the CD of the backup track for Ren's performance.
But the power's out.
What?
But the
yeah,
power's
I know.
out. How does she play
I
it?
But she runs and she goes finds Ren's brother, who she knows is in charge, and she's like, put the CD into the sound system at all costs.
But
and
the
then Ren's
power's
brother's
out.
like, yes, I'll do it. And he runs down the hallway and he like trips and he falls and he gets all scuffed up, but he's like, I'm gonna do it. And he puts the CD in.
But the power's out.
And it starts playing even though the power's
But
out.
the power's out. But the power's out.
And Ren is singing. Well, Ren starts singing a cappella, and then the audio comes on, so maybe his singing made the power work. I don't know.
Is he a Pikachu?
Because the reason why I would think this is possible is while he is singing his little jazzy Ren song, you know how in season 1 of Utapri everyone into this Ratatouille space? And I took it as like an interpretation of what listening to music was like.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just an interpretation or if it's supposed to be something that's actually happening in Utapri lore.
Oh, I see.
Because of something that because of statements that happen later in the season.
Okay.
So all of the audience is in this black space with like these glowing particles that get brighter and brighter.
The Kirara's effect.
Yes. And and everyone like the audience and Ren and everyone is all glowing, and he's singing and he's doing so good. At some point, Ren's brother and Cecil are like, wow, his idol powers created its own sparkling light. And you're like, wait, so this is canon? Like, it's not interpretation, it's canon?
He can actually use voice. Is he a bard?
Is he a bard?
Did he
is
cast
this the
light?
Kiraras? And then by the time he's done, the power is fully on with his idol powers.
Okay.
So, yeah.
His
idol powers turned the power on.
He's a Pikachu. Confirmed.
He's a Pikachu. So, yeah. Real Kirara idol powers. Center Nova effect is already starting here with Starish.
Oh boy. Here we go.
In the end, there's some Otome game stuff with Haruka, because there is every episode. And then Ren and his brother finally talk, and his brother's like, I know I forced you to go to Saotome Academy, but I know if I didn't, you would have just been like too rebellious to like actually do something you wanted. And I really thought that I was helping you. And then Ren's like, well, I found my own way, and let's not hate each other anymore.
I thought you were going to say, let's never speak of it again.
Let's never speak again.
Do not touch me, brother.
Never.
I do not require your pity.
Episode 7, Natsuki episode.
Hey-o.
So Natsuki finds out that he has a new job. And it is in a gravure ad for lipstick.
Oh, I
And
thought
he's
you were
like-
going to say Walmart.
I know.
McDonald's.
But
Got a new job. Welcome to corporate Japan, kids. It's Walmart time. Cash your credit.
and Natsuki is excited because he's like, wow, this Photoshop is gonna show me off, because they said they wanted me because of how mature and strong and manly I am. And then all the other boys are like, you're a fucking golden retriever, what are you talking about?
You're not sexy.
And then, you're not sexy. But then Haruka's like, actually, I just found out that the reason why he got this offer was because somebody saw him as Satsuki.
Uh-oh.
And is like, we want Satsuki.
Uh-oh.
So she ends up spilling the beans to all the other Starish boys, which this is a secret where I feel like they should have shared with everyone
Yeah.
at this point, but that's fine. I'm still surprised that they haven't told Natsuki about it.
Yeah, does he just not know
He doesn't know.
about his own weird identity issue?
He has no idea, which is such a bad thing.
Yeah, it's a little wild.
Little wild. But so Haruka goes with Natsuki to the shoot because she's like, I'm just gonna keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't take his glasses off. And right before he starts doing the shoot, he's like, hey, Haruka, come look at this. And he's like, I came up with lyrics for the music you wrote me. And she reads through it and she's like, wow, this is actually really powerful and strong and manly. She's like, I wasn't expecting that from you, Natsuki. I always think of you as golden retriever. And then Natsuki's like, well, I always feel like there's somebody who protects me when I'm having trouble. And it's just my song to like connect with that person. And then Haruka's like, I know you think you're speaking metaphorically, but actually...
But here's the thing about that.
But during the shoot, Natsuki is still having trouble being manly, so he takes a little break. Him and Haruka have a little talk, and Haruka's like, yeah, I know you're having trouble, but I know you got this, like, strong feeling because you wrote it in your lyrics. And then Natsuki's like, yes, you're right. And you know what? The director gave me some tips, since maybe if I take my glasses off, I'll feel like a different person.
Whoa!
And then he does. So, without glasses, he is once again Satsuki. Satsuki immediately has a flashback.
Uh-oh. It's like,
Where-
I've been unlocked.
I've been unlocked. Where he remembers and tells Haruka about how Natsuki, when he was young, had this amazing teacher, but she stole Natsuki's precious song. And it's like with fire, and I'm like, I don't know if she died in a fire or if something else happened, but whatever. And then when she disappeared, because of whatever happened, that's when Satsuki appeared as a way for Natsuki to protect himself.
Okay.
It's very vague, but it happened. And then Natsuki's like, so that's what happened to me, or Satsuki. And he's like, and let's pick up where we left off, which last season was about to kiss Haruka. So he goes in for the kiss again. And then everyone turns up, and all the other Starish boys show up, and there's like a wild chase where everyone's after Satsuki, trying to get glasses on him, etc. In the end, though, he loses all the other Starish boys and is in the same area as Haruka. And then Haruka's like, wait, before you go nuts, I want you to look at something. And she hands him the sheet music that Natsuki wrote. And Satsuki's like, oh, this sheet music is just like, he just wrote it about you. And Haruka says, like, no, he wrote it for the person he felt like was protecting him because he wanted to show that person that he's stronger. She's like, he wrote it for you. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom. This is... Sarah, I am so sorry about what I'm about to say.
I'm so excited.
You know how on Tumblr,
sometimes,
like with the Wansler and whatnot.
Yes. Star, I would not be surprised if people ship Satsuki and Natsuki.
Do you think that people do?
I would be surprised if they don't.
I'm gonna look it up.
Utapri fandom, get on AO3 if they're not there already.
Oh yeah, there's some fucking fan art for you.
Hello. Oh boy.
Oh, that's
hello.
spicy. Okay. Oh, they're not wearing pants in that one. Oh no.
You found the ships.
Oh no, that's a cosplay. Uh-oh.
So now that that's canon,
okay.
Satsuki reads these lyrics and he's like, you know what? Natsuki is getting stronger, and I think I'm gonna let him have control again. And then to the side, Cecil turns up and he's wearing like sunglasses and like a face mask. And he's like, hey guys, I figured out how to disguise myself as an iDOL. Wait, why'd you steal my glasses? And then Satsuki puts on the sunglasses and Natsuki's back and is like, what happened? Okay, hey, oh look, I can do my photo shoot now. Where'd I get these sunglasses? But then he does the shoot and his song plays over it. It's actually pretty dramatic, which, you know, again, you wouldn't expect from Natsuki, but he does a good job. And while he's singing, he also gets glowy, and also the Curars start showing up.
Center Nova.
Yeah, and then there's also a point where like him and Haruka are flying through space, and they're holding hands, and there's sparkles, and it's like, this is connected to our iDOL days conspiracy theory. I'm just saying. And then at the end of the day, Cecil like reflects on all of this stuff happening, and he talks to Camus, his senpai, and he's like, I gave you a report on what it means to be an iDOL. I think I figured it out. And you're like, okay, good job, Cecil.
I have now the same level as the rest of the party. I am ready to take on the gym leader.
Yep. Episode 8. Now we are out of the individual boys episodes. There's one kind of Tokyo one later, but from here on, all the boys together are in the middle of the mountains. They are ready for their training camp. Because they're going on a training camp.
Training camp on our bingo cards.
1 second.
Do you actually have a bingo card?
No, I'm taking a sip of water because my throat's dry.
Oh, I was about to say, it's like, did you actually make bingo cards and you didn't give me one? Rude.
Shit, we need to make bingo cards though. Training camp, definitely.
I already have a notebook out because I was writing down all the boys' names.
Nah. Training camp. So they're at the training camp, and at the very beginning of camp, Haruka gives Cecil some sheet music, and she's like, I wrote you a song. I wrote all the other boys one too, but now I got your vibe down. Here's a song for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the other boys are like, Cecil, you got a song. That's so exciting. We'll help you with the lyrics. And they all get like really buddy and they're like being friendly with them. And Cecil's like, what, you guys like me? And they're like, of course we do. You helped us out over the last 6 episodes. So they're all friends now. Haruka, on her own, though, during this training camp, is very stressed because during this whole time, these last few episodes, she keeps giving sheet music to the principal Saotome, being like, is this as good as Maji Love 1000%? Is this the song you want for the boys to be their next hit single? And every time, Saotome, like, looks at it and is like, this is good, but it's not what I'm looking for. So she's just like stressed. She's like holed up in a cabin, like writing music all the time, throwing it out, can't figure it out.
I just imagined like the newspaper guy from Spider-Man.
Yes.
Like, this is shit. Bring me more pictures of idols. Bring me more idol music. I need pictures. I need pictures of Spider-Man. I need idol music.
Then after like the first day, Haruka ends up talking to Cecil. And Cecil tells to Haruka, hey, this is like a dream for me. All I wanted was to sing one of your songs, and this has been my goal ever since last season when you freed me from my ancient curse using your power of music.
Oh, Cecil.
Is what he says.
I was thinking, my brain short-circuited. I thought we were talking about Tokia, and I'm like, wait, what was he cursed?
No, Cecil was literally cursed as a cat. At this point, it's just like, this was not a dream. I was literally cursed to be a cat, and your music literally saved me.
Interesting.
And he's like, I want to return the favor of you freeing me from my idol curse. And again, he's like, I was locked up in those ancient ruins. Like, the wall, like, this is Star. It's like, this is getting scary, Star. But he's like, I want to, like, return the favor, and I want to write really good music, like, lyrics for your music. And at the beginning of the season, I was saying that all I wanted was to sing with you, but, like, I think by now I actually want to become an idol because of all the things I saw from the last 5 episodes. And then he tells Haruka he loves her.
Okay.
Like, I love you.
Does he use the Big D dice key?
He uses the Big D dice key.
Oh, Big D energy!
Big D energy. And he's like, but I also love making other people smile. And I want to make everyone else smile too. And I will become idol.
Become
and then
Idoru?
Haruka become Idoru. And Haruka says, I'm so glad you want to become an idol, like completely ignoring the I love you part.
We can't unpack all that.
And then Haruka goes and tells all the other boys, like, hey, Cecil says he wants to become an idol.
But he's been at the idol training camp for like 6 episodes now.
Yep. But like, he's like, I really want to be an idol.
Okay, Cecil.
And all the boys are excited, and Cecil's looking at the sheet music like, yeah, I'm ready to write my own lyrics to Haruka's sheet music. And so him, looking at the sheet music, he wanders off into the middle of the forest. And he has like this necklace that's all shiny.
Uh-huh.
And he starts chanting into the necklace.
Okay.
And he says, Muses, show yourself. And he starts humming Haruka's sheet music.
Da 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 da. It's the Love Live opening.
And then all the Kiraras start glowing around him. And there is a bright glowing light in the middle of the forest. Camus, his mentor, sees this from afar and is like, is this a UFO, basically? But it's more of like, idol phenomenon? What is this? Centronova phenomenon? So bright light in the forest as he chants into the necklace. Here's the music.
Sarah.
And then
UFO.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out what that could stand for in this context, and the only thing my brain could come up with was unidentified fucking iDOL.
Oh, idol. Yes. And then all of a sudden the bright light goes away and Cecil is there and he drops his knees panting. And he looks at the sheet music and there are lyrics written there.
Okay.
And he says, the muses gave me the lyrics to this music.
And he reads it as just fucking snow halation.
And here's the question. It's if you're supposed to come up with your own lyrics, is it cheating
That's
if you
absolutely cheating if you channel the characters from Love Live to write your music for you.
If you channel Umi Love Live to write your music, is it cheating?
Yes. It's absolutely cheating.
So yeah, this is further solidifying my Love Live idols got raptured and are spirits in the idol dimension, embodying people AKB 0048 style.
In fucking credible.
Star, can you get a PhD in idol anime? Because I am ready to write my dissertation.
You know what? I'll do like one of those old shitty college movies and just like make up a school just for you.
Thank you. Yeah, so that happened. So then, because again, this training camp is in the middle of the forest, right?
Uh-huh.
So all the boys, like, because they were just talking about how Cecil wants to become an idol and Haruka's there and they're all wandering around and they all end up on like the suspension bridge, which doesn't matter except for visually making it look dramatic. And they're like, hey, Haruka, I know you're working hard on this new song, but don't worry, we're supporting you. And then Cecil walks up and he's like, yeah, like I was inspired to be an idol because of you and also all of these Starish boys. And hey, look, I got these lyrics written by the muses because of that.
He's like, that's cheating. Do it again.
And so he starts singing his lyrics.
And it's no halation.
And it's Snow Halation. No, it's Cecil's song. It's good.
Cecil, that's copyright.
And then the other Starish boys just start singing with him.
What?
Like they know the words because
they're
magic.
the muses because
of Love Live.
Isn't how, oh my god,
how they know.
Sarah.
And then they all start glowing. And they end up in this dark black Ratatouille idol dimension singing. They start like forming, like holding hands, and there's like a giant glowing heart that's like spinning with all the Kriaras around him.
Oh my god.
Their senpais notice this from afar, and they're like, "What is that?"
Okay.
And yeah, and then the song ends, and they're like, so like all the boys are like, "What just happened?" Like all the ones who were just singing, and they're like, the muses, they were with us. That's why we were in harmony.
Honoka, is that you?
Honoka. And then Cecil looks down at his paper and he looks at the lyrics and it's like, there's like one of the lyrics is like a constellation of 7 stars. And he's like, it was foretold in the stars.
Oh my god.
And Haruka's like, Cecil, you're right.
But
the answer, the reason why I can't write the song was that something was missing. It was you, Cecil. You need to join Starish because it was foretold by Muse.
Which constellation is it?
I don't. It's the Love Live constellation.
I think
it just makes the Muse symbol.
It's Virgo.
It's Virgo. It's fucking Virgo.
Fucking Virgos.
And then all the other Starish boys agree because they're like, "Yep, I'm in love with Haruka. Whatever she says, I agree with." And so Cecil is now officially a member of Starish. It's, like I said, it gets wild towards the end of the season, Star.
How much wilder is it gonna get, Sarah?
We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see how we take
the
it.
lack of a clear answer has
We'll
me
just have-
shivering in my boots.
We just have some fun here on Idol Days.
Oh boy.
At the end of the episode, however, Cecil gets a letter.
You just got a letter. You just got a letter. You just got a letter. You know, like,
and
yeah.
it's a letter. It's a letter from the king of his country,
South Maria.
South Maria. And his king writes that I found out your curse has been lifted, and I want to give you the crown. Return to your country at once.
What?
Yes.
Wait, so did he get cursed to be a cat, and they were like, cats can't be princes, GTFO, and they like stuck him on a plane in a carrier, and he's like, meow!
And
come back when you're a human, bitch.
In the last season, he was like in this like ancient ruin wall, like he was in the wall. Maybe the country is where the wall from 22/7's from.
Illuminati!
Interesting. But then at the end of the episode, Camus witnesses Cecil leaving. So he's like, Cecil left, non-committal.
Bye.
Episode 9 starts with all of the Starish boys, except Cecil, being like, I am so happy that Cecil's our new member.
And he's fucking going.
And then Camus shows up and says, sorry, Cecil's not gonna be here at all. He had to go back to his home country.
Your cat boy has abandoned you. That's what happens.
The Quartet Night
Boys... He was
boys,
standing
so, like...
at the door and he wanted to go outside, so I opened the door for him and he never came back.
He just walked back. These cats.
He came back inside, knocked my cup of water off the table, and then he left again. And then as soon as I shut the door, he started screaming at me that he wanted to come back inside, and I was like, Cecil, what the fuck?
What the fuck, Cecil? I mean.
And so I opened the door for him, and he just stood there. I was like, fine, so I shut the door again, and then he started screaming at me. He's like, fuck off, Cecil, and then he left. Anyway, he's not in your idol group anymore. He's gone. Fuck him.
Not right now. But all the Starish guys are like, don't worry, Cecil will come back, because whenever we let him out, he always tries to get back in the door because he's a cat. But the Mentor boys, the Quartet Net guys, are like, I don't think Cecil's gonna come back. Except Reiki, who's just like, I bet he's gonna come back. And he's like, thinking about it, because he's the good boy, he wants to help. Haruka, meanwhile, is like super sad because, you know, she just found her inspiration and then the guy left. Cecil had left behind for Haruka his magic muse necklace. So she's like, I hope he comes back. He wouldn't leave this magic muse necklace behind.
It's the only way that he knows how to write songs.
Yep. So she starts composing a new song. And she, like, with Cecil in mind, being like, he's gonna come back. I know it. I'm sad, but I have this motivation. And she gives it to all the boys. And they're like, Haruka, this is it. This is the song that we've been waiting for. This is the sequel to Maji Love 1000%. And all the boys are also like, but we can't sing it without Cecil here. And they say, we'll just write the lyrics and we'll leave his parts blank. And that'll be here when he comes back because we know he's coming back. And then it is towards the nighttime and they've all been working on the lyrics and they're just waiting for Cecil to come back. And then the principal shows up on a motorboat with the teachers.
I'm on a boat.
And he says, hey everyone, big news. I know what your next song is going to be.
Oh, whoa.
And he's like, it's one of the songs that Haruka came up with. It's good enough. Let's get ready to go. New song. And then Haruka says, no, that's not the right song. It's an okay song, but I have the real new song. The only thing that was missing was Cecil. And then Saotome says, like, Cecil's gone. He went back to his home country. He doesn't want to be an idol anymore. You're not singing that song. But all the other boys are like, no, we have to sing the song. It is the most important thing. And Saotome's like, no, the Utapri award depends on you all doing good, and Cecil is gone, and that's bad. So, during the middle of this argument, an airplane comes by.
Okay.
And out of the airplane jumps Cecil.
Of course.
And then they're like, Cecil, you're back. And he's like, start the song.
Music.
And so they all start singing Haruka's new song together.
Mm-hmm.
And like before, they all start glowing.
Mm-hmm.
They end up in the idol dimension.
Okay.
Around the entire world, everyone is just like shining and glowing, like there's some change that happened.
Okay.
It's a big deal. This is the idol dimension, Star.
Are we going to the idol dimension?
Yes. So afterwards, everyone is fucking shocked about how good they were, including the boys. And then Cecil's like, I decided I want to sing with everyone forever. I couldn't lose this part of me. Let me be a part of Starish, Saotome, please. And Saotome's like, not even a question. That's the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You took me to the idol dimension. You are the new Starish. Without the star in the A, you're a full Starish.
Oh, they got rid of that star in the A?
What?
They got rid of the star in the A?
I think technically because the A is, like, Cecil's last name is Ijima, so he's the A letter.
Oh, but I like the starry A.
That's
cute.
fair. It's a cute. They might still be, like, written as that, but they are full Starish now, just not partial Starish. And this new song, it's better than Maji Love 1000%, so we're gonna call it Maji Love 2000%.
Great title convention.
And then, end of the episode, there's a big announcement. You know, like in the Hunger Games movie, Star? You know, like how they have the big, like, the screen on the ceiling, and then, like, there's the big announcement, and then something happens?
I guess.
So that happens at their training camp in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And it's a projection of a news thing, and it turns out that the nominations for the Utapri Awards are in. And there are two groups that got nominated. Starish and another group called Heavens, who are our new boys.
Okay. More boys
So,
for the boy
more
pit.
boys. So episode 10 starts where we left off with the giant production in the sky. It cuts into just a full view of the news broadcast. And then we get introduced to Heavens.
Could you imagine if the
and-
news was, like, actually displayed to you like that, just at all times? Like, you just go
Right?
outside and you see CNN on the horizon, and it's like, oh, gonna be cloudy today.
And you're like, imagine if you're out camping in the middle of nowhere being like, wow, I'm so glad I'm in this dark, secluded place because I can get away from technology and stars. and the
Tonight
hum
on
of everyday
News
life.
1! Oh, God!
Oh, God, oh, no.
Oh, God, oh, fuck.
So we start, in this episode, episode 10, we meet the Heavens boys. So there are 3 of them.
Sarah,
I think
Sarah, I'm about to make a joke that I don't fully understand, but I hope that you do.
I'm ready.
Something something Heaven's Word Final Fantasy 14.
That works.
I
have another thing to. I have another heavens related thing that we will see soon.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay, I'm excited.
I don't know if you should be.
Oh no.
So, Heavens apparently another new idol group, but to everyone, they were like a shoo-in. Like they've been really popular. We hadn't heard about them in the anime till now, but sure, they want new boys. So we are introduced to the 3 of them. The first boy I'll talk about is Kira. He has like black hair. He doesn't talk much. He's just the shy one. Then there's Nagi. He has like pink blonde hair. He's upbeat and cutesy. Later they say he's 13 years old, so babby.
Small babe. Itty bitty.
And then there's Eichi, and he has brown flippy hair and glasses, and he is like the really mean, angry, stuck-up one.
Oh boy, yeah, he looks like a little bitch when I'm looking at him.
Yeah, he's like Jupiter when they were mean. So all the boys are announced, but then you find out that even though there are 2 nominations, only one group is going to win.
Of course.
And they will determine this through a head-to-head showdown where the votes will be calculated from the like people who came up with the Utapri awards and then also audience vote because of course. And then the creator of Heavens shows up on the television, and his name is Raging Otori. He is Eichi's dad, which is a part of it. And he also historically was Principal Saotome's rival back in the day, like when they were both idols.
Ooh,
so
drama.
History, drama. And like, so they already have the drama between each other. So like between these 2 old guys, there's like this big tension, right? Like super angry times. And the broadcast is showing Heavens, but like apparently they're on some sort of feed too because they were also being announced. And so Principal Saotome is like, yes, I see you're challenging us Starish to head-to-head duel. Well, why don't we even the playing field? Heavens and Starish will both sing songs composed by one composer, which is Haruka. So it's just
that
extra pressure on poor Haruka.
Cheating.
Right? It's not good.
That feels like a bias.
Yeah, Haruka's shocked. She's like, I didn't want to write for groups besides Starish, but like Haruka probably didn't read the contract when she signs on, and companies can steal your IP.
Yep.
It's really hard.
Shit sucks.
Shit sucks. And then, just to make things even more tense, Otori, mean president, is like, and to make it more intense, if Heavens loses, they will disband.
Oh.
Because I don't want to be in charge of losers.
Oh.
But the Heavens boys are like, yeah, bring it on, Dad. But
Daddy,
Saotome sees...
Daddy, I want to
Daddy.
be top idol.
And then Saotome sees this, and because he's the type of person just to get wrapped up in things and say crazy stuff, he's like, same here. If we lose, Starish is disbanded.
Don't go along with that.
And all the other boys are like, what the fuck? So that is the final episode challenge is Utapri Awards. Whoever loses is going to be disbanded.
Well, seeing as they have 2 more seasons after this, I think I already know who's gonna win. Just saying.
Also, seeing as it's called the Utapri Awards.
Yeah, that too. Wouldn't it be funny if they did lose and then the rest of the next 2 seasons are just about these other randoms?
I mean... So there's some more just where Tomo, the friend, tells everyone about the backstories, so she's just exposition girl. You also find out that the reason why Cecil came back is that Reiki, the green quartet night boy, sent Cecil Haruka's sheet music, and that's how he knew like what the melody was, and he was so inspired. So good boy brought Cecil back.
He went outside ringing a bell. Just like shaking
had
a bag
some cat
of
treats, shaking the bag.
It's like, here, Cecil.
Here, Cecil.
Here, Cecil. There he is.
So, so news of the Utapri Awards and this challenge about these two popular new idol groups, one of them like not existing soon, is like all over the news. At some point, they are both in like the same building with each other, and Aichi, the leader, like walks up to Haruka and he's like, "Oh, we actually really like the song you wrote that we're singing. How about this? When Starish is disbanded, you become our composer." And then like grabs her chin.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And so Haruka's like freaking out because she's like, "I'm writing both these songs. I gotta so I guess what they describe it as is that Heavens took like one of the songs that Saotome rejected before." And then Haruka herself is like working really hard on making her song even better. Like her arrangement of the song she showed Saotome. And so she's just like freaking out. She's stressed. She's like, "I need to get this arrangement perfect because I need to have an arrangement that is so good that Starish can't lose. I need a song that'll win at all costs." So she's super stressed because basically if she loses, then she feels like it's her fault because she wrote both the songs, which she was put in a bad situation.
Yeah,
really.
and it's also just like a biased conflict of interest because, like,
right?
She has no connection to these new boys, and now suddenly, like, it feels like it's biased in favor of not iDOL7, Utapri or Starish. Fuck,
Starish,
because like she's their composer. It just you feel like if you're gonna have this competition, you'd get like an unbiased party, like third party to do this song for you. But no, we can't have that.
Haruka's the main character. Come on, everyone's in love with her. We gotta use her.
Everyone's in love with her, and she's the only one who can write music in this godforsaken world anymore.
So while she's walking around sad, she does run into Tokia, and Tokia notices that she's really sad, and they have a talk about season 1, about how she was really inspired by Hayato, and like Hayato is what inspired her to write, but then Haruka inspired Tokia to like be interested in being an idol again, and how they inspire each other and trying to remember the reason why she wrote in the first place. And then Tokia sings his song, and it's just really cute and very related to the backstory. A lot of the solo songs were kind of ballady, but I guess it makes sense for solo songs, but not necessarily what I expect from the Utapri franchise.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Episode 11, we are going to continue with our Tokia time.
Okay, Tokia time.
Tokia time. So, Haruka is still having trouble with her arrangement, right? She talked to Tokia, she listened to Tokia's song, but she's still like, I still gotta win. Like, I'm remembering all this, but I just gotta win. I gotta work hard. And then Tokia says, "Hey, why don't you take some time off? Why don't you, I have a present for you and it'll help you." And he's like, "Come to this place at this time, and I am sure that will help you figure yourself out and figure this out and not be stressed anymore." And then Haruka says, "All right, sure, why not?" So she goes to the location on the card, and she ends up in a crowded square. And the crowded square, she's looking around, and then she sees the same building where she saw the Hayato ad in season 1 that inspired her to become idol, or to become idol composer. And then all of a sudden, Tokia starts playing because he was in an ad, and he's in a prince outfit, and he sings a song to Haruka, and there's all these butterflies, and he's in the idol dimension with Prince Tokia. And she's feeling better already. And then Tokia shows up in real life, and he takes her to a Matsuri.
Oh shit! Festival episode!
Yeah, and it's just like they just have some cute time, and she just starts enjoying herself. And then later that night, they have a talk about how he finally accepted the part of him that was Hayato. But at this point, he's not pretending to be Hannah Montana anymore. He is fully Tokyo.
Hannah Montana! Oh no!
And
Tokyo Montana.
Tokyo Montana, Chihaya Montana.
Best of both worlds.
He has the best of both worlds right now. And he's like, well, I need you to remember the reason why you wrote in the first place. And then Haruka flashes back, where she remembers that what she would always say is the reason why she wrote was to make people happy. But recently her motivation has changed to writing a song that can beat any other song. And she's like, oh shit, I lost sight of what's my real motivation, important part of me is. And Tokyo's like, it's okay, Haruka, we all lose sight sometimes, and if you ever feel like you're getting lost, you can come to any of us for help. And all the other boys were worried too. And then they all show up, and they're all wearing like hakama, and they're singing at her, and it's just very cute. And then Haruka starts like ascending again because she's so happy.
She's going away. She's getting
every
taken
time
to the idol dimension.
We want you. 共に行こう Star Love そしてこのシンフォニーあなたに捧ぐたとえどんな壁があってさ
So the song they sing were like lyrics to a song that Haruka had written for Satomi that got rejected, but it was actually a really cute song. And she says, she starts crying and she says she's happy and she's like, I have new motivation again. I'm just going to write a song that makes me happy and shows how happy I am to have you as my boys. And then they all watch the fireworks together.
Cute.
Episode 12.
Last episode?
No, there's 13 episodes.
Okay.
So second to last. Before I start talking...
Oh no.
Just a quick content warning for the next few seconds.
Uh-oh.
This is my own Sarah situation. Just warning about, like, talk about cults and suicide. All right. Episode 12 is called Heaven's Gate.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, in real life, Heaven's Gate was a real-life cult that started in the 1970s.
Okay.
Bonnie Nettles and Marshall Applewhite. I'm going to quote Wikipedia here.
Okay.
The central religious belief of the group was that followers can transform themselves into immortal extraterrestrial beings by rejecting their human nature, and they would ascend into heaven. Referred to as the next level or the level above human. They thought that the body was just a vessel, and when they died, their souls would go to space and board a UFO.
Okay.
And they're well known because the members of the group committed mass suicide in the late 90s when a comet passed overhead because they thought they could board the comet into space. This episode is, again, called Heaven's Gate.
Oh, I'm terrified about what is going to take place here.
Well, it's less of what takes place and more of me feeding into my theory.
Oh, God.
About how these idols are just reincarnated souls of previous idols.
And they're gonna go to space.
And you know what's in space is AKB0048.
Oh, it's all connected.
It's all connected. I just was looking at the episode list, and like at this point I was like in full like idol dates conspiracy theory mode, and I'm like, this episode is called Heaven's Gate.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
This is the idol Illuminati. This is them signaling to me the truth.
The
truth is out there.
Pepe Sylvia. This all fucking comments, Pepe Sylvia.
It's connected. It's all connected.
I cannot.
This was a signal from the idol Illuminati of what the truth is.
Oh my God.
So that was my interjection there. That's where I kind of was just going wild, where I'm like, yep, I am right. I am absolutely right. These boys are the reincarnations of Muse who end up reincarnating into 22/7 AKB. Who knows?
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, let me have it. I'm not
all
prepared, but we gotta finish recording the episode.
Back to the episode. Um, so Quartet Night Boys actually are like looking at the Starish Boys working hard, and Reiji specifically is talking to Ranmaru, and he's like, we should all sing together again. I feel inspired. So that is an aside. It doesn't really come to any fruition this season, but I assume it's like fire kindling for next season. So during practice for the Utapri Awards, it turns out that Cecil can't dance.
Uh-oh. He's
Because-
made it pretty far in Idletown without being able to dance.
Because his country, which again worships the muses, they have a specific dance for when they worship the muses, which is they kind of put their hands up in like a praise the sun thing, and they just start twirling around in a circle.
Okay.
And that's like how you worship the muses. And I guess he learned this dance at such an early age, he defaults to it whenever he practices.
Okay.
But then Shio starts teaching Cecil how to dance, and he's like, they're all working hard together. So just remember this weird muse dance, I guess.
Okay. Probably
there's-
easier than Sunny Day song.
Yeah, probably. There is just like some in between like all the Quartet Night Boys. Again, you barely got any of them this season. I assume they're in there just because they're in the game and then probably show up in later seasons.
Got it.
A lot of this episode is them realizing that, hey, I feel inspired by Starish. Maybe we should do some stuff together. Though one important thing is while they are watching the Starish Boys practice, Camus starts talking to Ranmaru, being like, hey, have you noticed that some weird things have been happening ever since we've heard Maji Love 2000%?
Oh my god.
And they're like, and Ranmaru is like, yeah, it's really weird. And they're like, well, maybe like people who listen to this song, like they change somehow.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. So there's like a lot of stuff like that. Anyways, they practice hard, and then it is time. It is the day of the Utapri competition. And the Utapri competition is taking place at like this giant coliseum. They are all getting ready backstage. Right before the concert, the Heavens kids come up again, and they ask Haruka to become their composer again. And then Haruka's like, no, I only want to write for Starish. And then, but Aichi keeps like being like, no, write for me. Eventually, Ranmaru shows up and is like, yo, bug off. So just more of the Quartet Night Boys connecting with them very late in the season.
Okay.
And then it is time for the Heavens Boys to do their concert.
強聞こえるかアルカリアに届いたニュービートエデンへと登ったミュージック Let's go heavens Let's go heavens 快楽へとご招待エクスタシーを奏でるニューエンに響き合おう Yes 今つなぎ合おう
The stage is like, okay, so they're on a stage. Oh, by the way, the song is also called Heaven's Gate.
Okay.
So they all these concerts. So the Heavens Boys descend on the stage in a fiery explosion. Okay. It's a very bad boy style song, like Angry Boy, think like Jupiter or Trigger.
Yeah.
A lot of their choreography is like them like fighting each other, and there's like a fire like raging on the stage in front of them. And then a dragon shows up.
Okay.
And it starts flying around the concert hall and breathes fire on the audience. And like the whole audience is engulfed in the flames of this idol dragon they summoned.
Are they okay?
The crowd is cheering. the Idolish, or not the Idolish 7, Jesus. The Starish boys are in the back, and they're just watching this on, like, their little, like, feed TVs, and they're, like, terrified. I assume because of the fucking dragon magic.
Probably. Although I do remember, there is a water park here in Texas. Well, actually, it's either at the Six Flags in San Antonio or the Schlitterbahn. I can't remember. I think it might actually be at the Six Flags, because they both have a water park in them. There was at one point, like, a water slide ride, where they, like, projected a picture of a dragon on, like, a shower, on, like, a mist fountain, and so it actually looked kind of like a pretty convincing hologram, and the water slide went through it.
Oh.
So maybe it was just that.
Maybe it's a projection. I hope
it's
it was.
It's a hologram, like
it was
Hatsune
a
Miku.
fucking dragon.
Like Hatsune Miku, but a fire-breathing dragon.
But a fire-breathing dragon. Episode 13, the last episode.
Okay.
Last episode kind of finished with Heaven's song. All right. So it starts right after the song. HE from Heavens is like just like chuckling and is like staring directly at Haruka, and you're like, yep, you are evil. Definitely evil. Backstage, Saotome and Otori talk, like the two principals.
Mm-hmm.
And Saotome's like, hey, Otori, thank you for testing out my theory. And Otori's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the reason why I had you use the same composer is you helped me in my research because I wanted to see if a special type of wave would appear if a different idol group was singing an arrangement by the same composer.
What? And
yeah, Otori's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yes, I call it the happy pulse, which is something that happens only, I've noticed happens only when Starish is singing songs by Haruka, and it's this strange phenomenon.
Okay.
Which is like, wow, this is some AKB shit.
Yeah. We're getting into some fun Idaru pseudoscience over here.
Yeah, like they have like a scene of him like wearing like, you know, like a full body like HVAC suit, like, you know, like with the gloves and the face panel, and he's like holding some of Haruka's music and playing like some like Utapri Starish songs, and then like some of the hearts start appearing out of it, and he like is testing the wave.
What?
And you're like, this is when you're like, oh, these Ratatouille sequences, they are 100% in like universe happening.
Oh my god.
Like, this is not like a visualization like Ratatouille. In universe, they are happening, and this principal is observing them and trying to harness their power.
What the fuck?
Which is like, okay.
What the fuck?
We on Idol Days have been sleeping on Utapri. This is like...
I didn't know it got this wild! How was I to know? No one told us! How are we supposed to know?
I am so glad I watched it, because it really makes things make so much more sense. Like, a combination between that and the idea of Raptured Muse, which we wouldn't have understood if we hadn't watched the Love Live movie. I think it's Destiny. We watched that before this.
Yeah, it seems like...
I'm just saying, Happy Pulse and the Center Nova phenomenon have a lot in common, I'm just saying.
What the fuck, Utapri?
And then, it is time for Starish's concert.
So let's go do some pseudoscience. Board a UFO.
Actually...
Go on a trip around the world into the idol dimension.
Well, actually, it's Maji Love 2000% that they sing on stage, which was also the ending all season. It's the same animation as the ending, so nothing too different to see there. They do the hip gyrations, the butt slaps, all that good stuff. Very good song. After the song is over, they all start glowing.
Of course they
Really,
do.
really bright. And then everyone in the audience also start glowing. Even against their will. Like, they show the Heavens Boys being like, no,
I don't
do
want to
it.
be glowy, damn it.
And then they get glowy, and then everyone starts raising their hand in that praise the sun motion.
Oh my
and
god.
spinning. And then it starts zooming out, and there are just, like, hundreds of, like, glowing humanoid figures spinning around the earth, and then they start, like, pulsing out into the universe.
You spin me right round, baby, right round. Like, what the fuck, Idol Dimension?
And that pulse shoots out across the universe.
Okay.
And then afterwards, they are all back on Earth, but they're all dazed and shocked, like they just went into the space.
Okay.
And everyone's like, what just happened?
What the fuck?
And then all the Starish boys were like, they're like, wow, we did really good. And they're like, did anyone else see it when we all started spinning in the middle of our song? It's like, oh no, it really happened.
It happened. It's real. The Idol Dimension is real, and we're all going there. Oh my god!
Yeah. Utapri.
Utapri!
It's just chef's kiss. This is like, it really is making all of our it's like solidifying everything we've learned here on Idol Days
Sarah,
up to this point.
No one told us that Utapri was gonna get so wild. I'm just
so
in
good.
shock that no one told us this. Because I feel like we would have watched this months ago if we had known how fucking buck wild. What?
Star, we gotta be careful. Maybe they have told us, but the Idol Illuminati is silencing them.
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
Sarah, I don't want to go back to the Idol Dimension. It was cold.
What do you mean go back? This is I've never been there before, Sarah Bot 3.0.
Yeah, good point. That's true.
Anyways, Starish wins.
Yeah, I figured.
But then Otori's like, all right, you guys won, definitely. That just happened. Heavens Boys, you are disbanded. But Starish says, no, don't disband. You were good too. You summoned a dragon.
And they were like, yeah, but you sent a laser into space.
Into space. And then Saltome comes in and is like, well, you forgot, Otori, the special secret prize for the winner of Utapri. They can have any wish granted.
What?
And the Utapri boys, or the Starish boys' wish was to let the Heavens Boys not disband. And then Otori's like,
waste.
you got me. And then everyone was happy.
The end?
And then they all start singing Maji Love 1000%.
So let's
song.
What the fuck is the show?
And then everyone clapped. The end.
Amazing.
So, Utapri season 2.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
What in the world did I just listen to you describe for 2 hours?
This was not what I was expecting.
No, it wasn't!
Because again, season 1 was, at least as far as the realm of anime goes, relatively normal except the Cecil episode.
Uh-huh.
This anime, well, Cecil shows up right away, so that already makes it weird. But then, like, once it's kind of, like, referenced that this whole, like, idol thing that they go to is something that actually happens in universe lore, that's when you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Wait a second.
Hold up a minute.
This changes everything.
What?
So, here we are. Utapri. Season 2.
Season 2.
Final thoughts. Idol Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed. I think that's all we can really say here.
Yes. Absolutely.
Who's best boy, Sarah?
Ooh, that's a rough one. Best boy.
'Cause I'm not sure if I asked you that last time.
Yeah, I know, like, honestly, last season, I really liked the friend Tomo. But she's not really in it this season. I don't know. I don't know if I have a best boy. It's hard because, like, things were just so wild. I was really caught up in the whole iDOL dimension shit.
Amazing.
So
Like, how
that's
do you
where I
expect me
am.
to focus on anything else when there's an iDOL dimension happening?
I do say I do like Otoya. Like, I liked how his whole story was like, I was an orphan, but, like, it's not sad, and I'm just a happy boy. I like that. That was good.
You know, that's honestly on brand considering you play a rogue in D&D who still has their whole family.
Oh, yeah. Opposite of a tragic backstory rogue.
The opposite.
So, Star, at this point, do you like your leafy green cat boy, or do you like soft,
Leafy
not
Green
really into
Cat
anime
boy
boy?
is gonna send me into space. I'm a
He
little
will.
scared. I'm honestly a wee bit intimidated by my Leafy Green Cat boy.
He's definitely
It's
scary.
like, sir, what the fuck?
It's what happens when Love Live is reincarnated.
Oh god. Her powers.
She's too powerful.
Stop sending prayers to my grandpa, he's too strong. That's what it feels like.
It really is.
Stop saying that Rin's your best girl. She's gonna reincarnate into a cat boy and then he's gonna take over space. He's too strong.
And then he becomes Achan.
Full circle.
Full circle centered over the wall.
Wow. Amazing.
So,
God, I feel like I'm a hard act to follow because I don't think that my anime gets that weird. I feel like it's gonna be relatively tame by comparison, but who fucking knows? I haven't watched it yet.
I think we need a fucking break after this.
You know what? That's fair. I feel like the pattern of our last couple episodes has just been, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? And then the next one's just like, oh, yeah, here's an anime. And then this one was once again, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? But yeah, so then our second episode for September will be my episode that I'm tackling by myself. It's an anime. I watched like the first episode a long time ago and then dropped it, which is just my pattern. Apparently, so I watch one episode of a show and I drop it, and then like 3 years later for the podcast I pick it back up.
Hey.
So we'll see. I haven't watched further just because I've been busy as fuck prepping for a con. Oh shit! If you guys are listening to this episode the weekend it comes out, I'm at San Japan in San Antonio, Texas. I've got an Artist Alley booth B105. Come say hi to me.
Woohoo!
I'll wave at you ominously and be like, join the Illuminati. Confirmed. And then after that, so we're gonna have a calm-ass episode for me probably, and then begins
Cursed Idol October.
Cursed Idol October, baby. We've already picked out our shows.
It's back.
Yep.
At the end of the month, we will be doing the ritual to summon my wife back from the dead.
Yep, because it's the only time of year we can do it. But we have 2 episodes before that. Sarah's leading one and I'm leading another. We've already picked out our shows. I hope mine is cursed enough. It seems like it's going to be. Sarah's is definitely cursed because I tried to watch it a few years ago and literally couldn't. I'm like, I can't watch this. So...
So, Star, if people want to follow our cursed antics, where can they find us?
You can find us on the internet at idoldays.card.co. That's idoldays.carrd.co, or idolluminati.net, which is the URL that we reserved. And Sarah, if people want to yell at us on social media to join the Idolluminati cult, where do they go?
You can at your theories on which Utapri character is a reincarnation of which Love Life character on Twitter or Instagram at IdolDaysPod. That's at IDOLDAYSPOD.
Or you could join our Discord and yell at us 1v1 in the pit.
Just please let us know who you think is the reincarnated soul of which idol. It's so important.
And why is Nico the bad guy in the movie Unfriended? I don't remember what year it came out. I've never even seen it. I just watched a video essay about it. Unfriended.
So,
Unidled.
This has been Idol Days.
We've
been
lady.
Lady.
See you
See
next
you next live.
Bye.
Bye.